Every year I get shredded for summer, and last year was my most successful year yet. However, there were some things that I did wrong, so I'm going to share those with you today so you don't make the same mistakes. And I'm going to try and keep this as short as possible so I don't waste your time. Let's get into it. The first thing I'm doing is having less fibre. A lot of people think that more fibre the better because that means that you can remove the stool better. I found in my personal experience that I didn't respond well to high fibre, and so I was having too much fibre, and it's very common that you have digestive issues on a cut when you're having less volume to shift the food through your system. So for me, less fibre actually works better, and it's a well-known thing that people respond differently to fibre. So personally, I'm having less fibre. Next up, more electrolytes. I'm not having these in electrolyte tablets or powder or whatever because honestly, most people don't need those. I think unless you are doing a lot of excessive sweating during the day, you don't need that. The way I get my electrolytes in is through salt. Salt has been demonized quite a bit. I actually don't know why it's been demonized, but there's a lot of highly processed food that contains a lot of salt, and that is bad for you. But personally, I have about 6 grams of Himalayan pink salt every day. The electrolytes in that salt means that I get greater fluid absorption in my gut and allows me to pass stool better, because being 100% transparent, last year I had some issues with that, and I do not want to have those issues again. So more electrolytes, and I've noticed personally the bowel movements are better. And on the topic of electrolytes, I'm having higher protein. The reason why I can have higher protein is because I'm having those electrolytes, so I get that fluid absorption, which means the higher protein can move through my gut better. And as long as you're being sensible, you can go above 1 gram per pound of body weight of protein, and if anything, it's going to be more optimal for actually holding onto that muscle when you're dieting, because the last thing you want to do is drop the protein and lose all the muscle you've created in the off season. So for me, I'm having higher protein, but the electrolytes mean that I can still digest it. But it's not only the electrolytes that mean I can digest the protein. So there's 3 things that I've implemented to support gut health and digestion. First thing is pineapple. That contains enzymes in it that break down protein. That's honestly been a bit of a game changer for digesting so much protein. I think kiwi has a similar sort of enzyme in it as well, so those foods can be great for breaking down protein when you have a high protein diet. The next 2 things are fermented foods and psyllium husk. These support the microbiome in your gut, which means digestion is just more effective, more efficient, and overall just better, which is what you want, because the better your gut health, the more you can utilize the food you're actually taking in. And on the next thing, cardio. Honestly, I've said in the past that I'm not a fan of whacking in loads of cardio straight away. I find it actually means your fat loss is unsustainable for a lot of people, because a lot of people just can't go from 0 cardio to lots of cardio. But for me, I'm quite well disciplined. I've been in this game quite a while, and so adding cardio is effective for me, and it means I can actually eat more while losing fat. So right now I'm doing 5 lots of 20 minutes of zone 2 cardio a week, and I'm finding the fat's coming off pretty nicely. And along those same lines, I'm doing more steps every day. Right now I'm doing 7,500, but honestly last year I didn't even do that. Steps is really important because it's a good way to get that expenditure in so you can actually eat more food, and doing the steps means you can digest food better. You'll notice if you have a fairly big meal and then you go out for a walk after, you don't get that bloating, that like feeling of food sitting in your stomach. It's something to do with the muscles that cross your stomach, and walking activates them, which means it like stimulates your gut to actually digest food better. But essentially, you should get steps in so you can digest food better and get greater expenditure. Next up, I hired a coach. Now, I know what you're thinking. Why would I get a coach when I'm already a coach? I know what I'm doing. And yes, I know what I'm doing. I could do this myself. But first of all, there's always gaps in your knowledge. Believe it or not, I don't know everything. And sometimes having someone who's a coach who might look at things differently to you is very beneficial. There's things that being with my coach has taught me that I can actually implement into my own coaching, and accountability. It's always good to have someone in your corner. And so for me, just having my coach there means on the days I want to slack, I'm not going to do it because I'm paying him money and I don't want to lose the money, and I don't want him to see that I'm slacking. That's just not a good look for me. So I think it's super important that you get a good coach, but yes, I am biased, so do it or don't. And finally, this is a little bonus tip. Make sure you get some Dolcoes. It's basically like a stool softener, but trust me, I know this sounds pretty vulgar, but so many people come to me with digestive issues because they're trying to diet and they're just not going to the toilet. Sometimes you need a bit of help, and sometimes you just need to, like when you're on the low calories, your bowel movements aren't happening. Dolcoes, it's a stool softener. It helps the whole process. You don't get any issues. Keep some on hand just in case you need it. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, guys, that's it. I try to get through it as fast as possible so I don't waste your time. I hope that was helpful, because this year I'm doing things very differently. And I've put on 14 kg over the winter in my gaining phase, so I've got more room to go to actually lose the fat, and I'm getting shredded for summer, I promise you that. So I hope you enjoyed. If you got any questions, leave them down below. If you got anything you want me to cover in future videos, again, let me know. I've got a link below to my Instagram, which has my coaching link in it, so if you want coaching, you know where to go. But yeah, apart from that, hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.